Oh well, I'm done my time on the beach down here. I'm going to go visit Blue, and this here is just part of this beach isn't very big. Around the other side, there's Courtney Bay, and then there's these seal. One second here. Is that a seal or an eider? I don't know. I gotta lean this walking stick somewhere else. Ah, that's an eider. Yeah, that down there is just an eider. At first I thought it was Sammy the seal, but it isn't. He would act a lot different. Oh well. Yeah, that tide's coming in pretty good. I'll get my chance to, I'm gonna go visit that reptile fossil site before the tide comes in. Because once that tide is in, it's harder to get to the fossil site. And sometimes walking around here with a camera, with a zoom camera, is a good idea, because you never know when you're going to see a hawk or eagle come flying down, come flying overhead. Well, someone left some straws. There, I can see the harbor a little better, and the harbor itself isn't very big. It wouldn't take long to row across it, but I don't know if you'd want to. The currents out there are really tricky. It almost requires either a strong an engine from a fishing boat or a tug to maneuver these waters. I'll see if I can get a close video of the way the currents go. Alright, I think we're in close enough. Okay. Oh my god, my hiking stick keeps falling and falling and falling. I'm gonna have to fix that. Yeah, there's right in front of us. Let me see now. Come on. There's a little piece of water right in front of us. It's calm, and then you'll see what looks like little rapids out there. the rapids subside and then rise up. In those rapids, that's just currents forcing the water up and down, up and down. And if you took a canoe in there, you would be hard pressed to maneuver your canoe around, because it would feel like the currents trying to pull it in different directions. And if you tried to swim in that current, you would most likely be carried way out past the island. Because if you can't swim 20 or 30 miles an hour, you're not going to have much luck getting out of that current. They call them riptides. And the riptides here are really, really strong. Okay, let's fix this zoom. Pick up the stick here. Yeah, the ships used to berth in here to pick up materials like sugar and stuff like that. There was a time when this harbor was 10 times different than it is now. Right now, this harbor, I would say, looks deserted compared to what it was 18th century, 19th century. There was a lot more going on. Technology changed. So now we have railroad containers that can hold thousands of units of TVs. Back in the sailing days of the White Pine White Sail, ship holds were much smaller. So it took many ships to deliver the same amount of goods that one railroad container can deliver. Yeah, that's part of the old wharf. Many decades it was used, but now it's kind of abandoned. And we are slowly coming up to Blue the reptile fossil. The water isn't up to isn't up that high yet, so I stand a fairly good chance of getting down there. And here is a really good vantage point. This is the ocean coming in and the river going out. Yeah. Now at Reversing Falls, just upriver a ways, it forms whirlpools, and they're strong enough they'll take a rowboat or canoe under, no problem at all. Now, there's the fossil site right there in front of us in that sedimentary boulder. There's a few other sedimentary boulders here, and there's other types of boulders. They were all shipped in. Oh my gosh. Now this is marbly. It's actually limestone, well baked limestone. The higher the heat that limestone is, the higher the heat that limestone is in, the more different looks it will get. And marble is marble is a soft stone. It's a soft limestone, but it's very attractive compared to the raw or to the rougher looking limestone. And they're all shales. Limestone shale. You can look it up look up the definition of it. Now, this is where you kind of have to be careful. Yeah, you don't want to fall. That's the remains of an old cutting washed ashore. It's actually a good resource for if you want to start a beach fire. We've come down here and saw a little bit off, and they got material to start your beach fire with. Yeah. I'm gonna slide down. I'm gonna be standing down there in a second, but that is a fossil site. This boulder here is 180 million years old, and this boulder, you can see where it was plastic. Heat turned it all smooth, so some volcano was going off when this boulder was formed. And the one under my foot. Get down here and There we go. That is the upper part of the jaw hinge. There's one horn. The other horn would have been, if it wasn't for the tooth hole here and part of that side of the head missing, the other jaw hinge would have been on the other side here. That there is a fossil shell. And here's another piece right here. This piece of fossil doesn't match up to the size of that skull cap. So it's from a separate animal. And whatever in the tooth hole, you can almost put your finger in it. So you know it's not a huge animal that killed this one, but the fact that it could bite through skull makes it important. Now, right down here, you see those circular openings in that fossil skin? They're follicles, hair follicles. And this camera brings them out beautifully. Let's get this in close. Hair follicles. The tides have been wearing away the skin, but in 2018, in 2019, the video history will show the changes that the skin on this fossil went through. And it was well preserved, very well preserved. At one point there were hairs coming up and just blowing in the wind. The hair stood up, and when the skin got cleaned off by the tides, and then eventually the tides removed the hair. But I've got it on video. And there's hair at St. John the Baptist School in the neck piece. That came off July 10th, 2018. That neck piece was donated to the school. That is the only hair sample that a museum's ever going to get from this fossil. And come on, camera, zoom in. I don't see any seals, but that's okay. I know there's at least one of them around somewhere. Yep. Now, this is where I'm pretty sure that was a serrated tooth, because you certainly would not get a plant-eating reptile doing this kind of damage with a peg tooth. No, a plant-eating reptile with a peg tooth would not be able to make this kind of damage. Only an animal with a serrated tooth would be able to do this. Now let's look at the hair follicles on this part here too. That's the little circular openings the hair once stood on. There you go, that's even closer. Now this is amazing fossil skin. Right now it's cold, but when this skin is warm, it actually absorbs water like pig skin does. And when it freezes, it turns black, just like a pig skin would. That's definitely part of a jaw hinge. And this red over here, you know this bone agatized, because that is a sign of agatization right here, red. It only takes 10,000 years for a bone to agatize, but the fact that this sedimentary boulder is from the KV Formation, Kennedy Cases Valley Formation, which is 180 million years old, that tells you the age of this reptile, the age of that fossil shell, and this other piece. Okay. Oh, wait now. I'm letting the camera zoom in here because there's a duck I want to look at. Come on, camera. Zoom in. Or focus, focus, focus. I have to start another video. I'm going to have to start